Hi everyone, welcome to the Lights Too Bright podcast and 2026. I reflected last year, looked over some of my episodes and was so grateful for my guests who took the time to share their insights and knowledge about the profession with me and with you. So this first episode is dedicated to them, and I've just tried to pick two nuggets of information that each of them have shared with me and with you in a sort of highlights package. So I do hope you enjoy. I've got more amazing guests planned for 2026, and I'm looking forward to sharing those episodes with you as soon as I can. So please do like, share, and follow, and enjoy this episode, and all the best for 2026.
I was pretty sort of self-aware that this was what I wanted to do. I had my school kind of saying, are you sure it's not medicine? Do you want to consider something else? Make sure you look at other careers and other options, which is fair. And I just kept coming back. It's like, I want to do this.
But it's like qualifying is honestly just the beginning. Okay. It's not the end of your career journey. It is just the opening. That's just opening the door to all the opportunities there. And don't be afraid to chase those opportunities. So find something you enjoy within the profession. And there is so many avenues to explore. You just got to look for the opportunities there. Yeah. Look for those opportunities and find what you're going to enjoy. So then you don't mind sitting with the profession for the next 25, 30 years. But so don't be afraid.
Bear in mind, I've worked in a few in different industries. It's the most friendly community type base I've seen so far. So you always get ones that are a bit special, but most of them want to help each other out. Most of them want to impart knowledge. There's a big community spirit within it all. No one wants to be better than the other person as such, which is just a really nice way of doing things.
The changes in life that we can give people by giving them vision with some of the technologies, the kit, the skill set that we've gained, and the contact lens options primarily that we can deal with has made virtually every day a life-changing aspect to a patient, giving them vision, giving them back normal life, because a lot of them have given up on life. We've had 3 or 4 patients talking about contacting Dignitas.
If you're open to opportunity, just meeting these people, just sometimes it just happens. You're kind of sitting there having a chat, and one minute you're sitting on a train, going to refract. The next minute you're head of optometric services, blossoming ophthalmology provider. But it comes from being open to making contact.
Keep an open mind. Always keep an open mind in what you do on a day-to-day basis. It's very, very important to kind of get into the normal routine and miss opportunities. Opportunities are not going to come looking for you. Just talking to your patients, talking to your reps, talking to your colleagues, talking to the specialists. There's a lot of opportunity that we have. This license that we have in our hand gives us an admission ticket to a very broad spectrum of different opportunities. If you are practicing for 30 years in your clinic and you're happy, more power to you. However, if you ever come across a day where, you sit in the parking lot and you put your head back and you're like, another day, just remember that you're not stuck there, that you do have opportunities beyond this clinic, and those opportunities you might have to go look for, but might bring you happiness.
And I think sometimes we always think we have to take a step forward or a step up to go forward. And that's not always the case. Sometimes if you look at the opportunities, there's different steps and different opportunities. And I saw that as an opportunity of moving out of a multiple into an independent practice. Having grown up with an independent practice and seeing the benefits of that, and having an aspiration to one day become an owner, I just saw that as a step to understand it.
As a self-employed independent optometrist, I'm paid a flat fee. That's it. Doesn't matter if I sell no glasses or 20 pairs of glasses. I work there as if it's my name above the door and it's my reputation that's at stake.
I wouldn't say there was an absolute trigger. I think I started finding I was like counting down every patient towards the end of the day, counting down to lunchtime. I was definitely enjoying it less. Maybe that was the scenario, maybe that was the practice that I was in, or kind of the situation I was in at the time. But at the time, I just started looking for something a little bit different.
Biggest single purpose behind me is making a difference. So, and that's why I do my day job. That's why I work for Minicom, and that's why we do the side stuff with Inspire. The biggest single thing, if I'm making a difference, it's great. If I feel like I'm not, that's what probably makes it harder. And if I'm working on a project and it's not ticking the boxes and it's not actually making a difference, that's what I find hard. So it's probably not the role, it's more the goal. That's the biggest single thing that makes a difference to me, as long as I'm making a difference.
But there's no right or wrong path. Each your own, whatever drives you, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
You have to make your own path as well. Nothing's going to just drop in your hand. If you want to try something different, then you've got to put yourself out there. Definitely.
My time that I chose, and I wanted to do things, taking all the best bits from all the different places that I'd worked and kind of put it together, that it was somewhere you could come, have great styling. So the fashion, the sport, the medical side of it, I wanted to kind of all put together in one practice, but my goodness, it was hard.
What I would say is just stay curious. I feel like once you get into the experience and knowing more, seeing more patients or whatever the field that you are in, you start realizing, oh, why is that this way? And if you stay curious and you just want to learn more and deep down, that's for me the way that has opened so many doors in this field. Just don't be scared of asking questions. Just at the end of that lecture, go to that professor. They appreciate those questions. Yeah. It's just about finding that inner child saying, why? Why is that? Why? And to me, that has never stopped. And because of that, I want to know more. And that can drive your career. That can change it.
I just kept asking questions. I was just like, oh, what's that? Oh, that looks interesting. What does that be? The ID? What is that? And then I started learning a bit about the anatomy. And then it's particularly Carly, she was just like, yeah, go and study it, go and do like the dealer course.
As much as it is really uncomfortable to sometimes have another peer, qualified person in the room with you, you think you're being judged, actually, to observe each other allows you to learn, because you actually get to sit back and watch it being done. And that's a perspective you never get when you're right up close and looking into that person's eyes and interacting with them.
Do you think there are a lot of optometrists out there who they're fine in the consulting room because they don't really have to be a people person? It's the one or two in or out, red or green, Bob's your uncle. It's all again about learning at work. It's learning the chit chat over a coffee in the staff room, learning about when you're running a bit behind and you're having to just chat to someone because they're a wee bit upset. They've been waiting for a long time, just chatting. And all of that makes you a better person, makes you a better optometrist.
I myself was not probably the best student as an undergrad, and I had some teachers reaching out to me later and saying, oh, Sonny, we thought you were going to make it that far. It's not about grades. It's about being curious. So wanting to know more, but that is, I feel like it's a personality trait. It's a way on how you approach life.
Think about refraction in such a completely different context, which makes it a really exciting part of that eye exam. And actually, if we did that in high street, and that's what we should be doing, and I hate saying high street, it's not a high street, in our clinic, wherever we practice, that's what we should see refraction is. What are we doing to this patient to make them enjoy their vision in a better way? We get to work with a team where the surgeons do it surgically and patients are delighted.
There's no point in going into work every day and being very serious and then not ever smiling and having fun, because optometry to me is fun, and unless you make it fun, it never will be fun. Refracting can be fun. Contact lens fitting is definitely fun. All of these things are fun. And so the couple of mentors that got me going in the early years made it funny. And I think half the battle with a patient is to put them at ease. And if you're putting them at ease, if there's a way to do it in a humorous way and make them laugh. I mean, Christ, if they leave the practice with better vision and a smile, it's a win-win all round.
Be your authentic self. Don't try and be someone that you're not. I was an average person, but I was good at communicating. I was good at making people feel comfortable. And so just be your authentic self. Just don't bullshit your way through stuff if you can, because they'll know. So that for me, and I've always said that to my pre-regs, listen, don't do that. Just be real and enjoy yourself. So, make whatever you want to do, make it happen. No one's going to give it to you. You make it happen.
Book smart, which can help you to a certain extent, but there is street smart, which in our industry, I think is extremely underestimated. Your point about being able to communicate with patients and making things that are really quite complicated and potentially life-changing, making them relatable and understandable is huge.
It's just about, and I think it's simple, just be honest, do what you say you're going to do and just be nice to people. It's 3 really basic, I feel, traits, really. I mean, it's not rocket science, and then you can go, if you want to really deep dive into kind of, the specifics of emotional intelligence or whatever, that you can do. But I think them the key 3 traits have stood me good so far in my life, and I never really want to lose them. And I would say they're kind of my non-negotiables.
Start
What
with
would it be?
yourself. With anything that you're doing, start with yourself and focus on your mental and physical well-being, because it doesn't matter if you're the most skilled optometrist or whatever field you're in, it doesn't matter. Focus on yourself because you have more control over your life than you realize. But that all starts with that one thought, that one step, that one person, and that one person being yourself.
We learn so much more through the errors that we make. And there's nothing, and this is really weird and perverse as a thought, but there's nothing more satisfying than when you've got a patient that comes back who's not happy and they leave delighted, because you know that you've done something truly important, truly special at that point to be able to change their perspective or their opinion of that situation.
If you want to change something, whether that's in the industry, outside of the industry, progressing within the industry, you're really the only one that can do it. I'm a big believer in if you want something to change, you've got to go and change it yourself. Yes. It's not gonna change for you. It's not gonna fall into your lap.
So I'm always trying to give them lessons is don't say no. Just say yes to any opportunity you get that you might want to do, even if you think you are not qualified to do it, that you do not have the skill set to do it. Say yes and then learn, right? That's all you can do. Because if you say no, you've not even given yourself the opportunity to learn. There's no point saying no. Say yes and then do everything you can to learn to make that role work for you. Someone's asked you for a reason. Believe in yourself. They've asked you because they think you're qualified. Whether you feel you're qualified or not is one thing, but someone's asked you because they think you are.
Thing that's always worked for me is following the thing that you know deep inside lights you up. So for me, I've said it a number of times, it's contact lenses. For other people, that could be many different things, specific within optometry or something else. I heard someone the other day talk, for them, it was about people development. So that for them, it was running a business, running a team and watching people develop and grow. But whatever thing is that you know speaks to you, that gives you the fire more than anything else, I think if you can figure out what that is and then be open to opportunities, then that just, it feels like it opens doors.
Sometimes it's an email, sometimes it's a text message. I mean, I probably do that more now because I know a lot of people in the industry. What's the harm in asking, right? If you don't ask, then you're never going to know.
The challenge in your thing.
And just exploring the options without cutting things off. As I said in the beginning, it doesn't have to be one or the other initially. It can just be that and that together. Things don't have to be set as well. So it's just a journey that you have to take those first steps. And that's the important bit. So you don't have to think, I'm going to be that photographer and I'm going to quit this. And that's the only way I can do it. Just do both and do one or, a bit less of the other ones.
One person may not be able to change the world, but you can change the world for that one person. And I think especially if a lot of people are in practice, that's what I would always feel like. So as you said, it might be hard. You feel like, I can't bother, I've got another 10 patients to see. But equally, you then have got 10 opportunities to make a difference to that person. And as I said, with a lot of the work that we do, we've said that lots of people are struggling. I'm very fortunate in the sense that I haven't struggled myself, but when I've seen like some of the dark stories behind it, people do, you just don't see it. And you won't know the difference you've made to someone but you do have that opportunity. So if you're in practice, you can make a difference to every single one of your patients.
I think it's just picking up, people laugh at this because I'm not the most self-confident, but just trusting that there is a little bit of you that can do it and believing in yourself a little bit, maybe.
A lot of optoms, particularly earlier on in their careers, have never known working anywhere else. So it's that fear of the unknown that comes into a lot of play with people to making that jump. Maybe you will be better off for it. You will find something better along the road. But like I said, it's just taking that initial push to just, and sometimes you need somebody else to just give you that kind of nudge a little bit. Because like I said, we often get too comfortable being somewhere that we just end up with blinders on, that we don't actually see how bad it is. We just we'll almost sugarcoat it for ourselves. Like, it's okay. It was just a rough day. There'll be better days. Sometimes you just need that nudge.
Be humble. Make an offer. Obviously, if an opportunity comes up knocking, take it. Because you only regret it. And I've had those opportunities come in the past and I've regretted it. So take that leap of faith and make it. There's a reason why it's come to you.
I think the key to success is passion. And I think if you don't feel passionate or you feel that you're stuck in a refraction room, then get yourself to a conference, because there's so much of optometry. You could be a hospital optometrist, you could just go work in the frame industry. There's so much out there to be excited about in optometry. But if you just sit, and maybe that's what you want to do, sit in a refractory room. But if you don't feel passionate, get yourself out there to these conferences and see what's going on, because you can be as sporty as you want, as fashionable as you want, and as techno-minded as you want. I just think really is a fantastic career. And if you don't feel passionate about it, then get out there and find the bit of optometry that makes you passionate.
You've got people that, have been in tears because you have given them back something that they have not had, or the low vision. And, it is so empowering when you see someone get something that means so much to them.
If I'm going to give people advice, I'd just say, just don't stop learning, and then just kind of figure out something around that. In terms of my inspirational quote, I'd say there's a quote from Louis Pasteur, and he said, "Chance favors the prepared mind." So, just make sure that you're there to take those opportunities.
Not settling is a very important thing, because, we only go around once. The profession's great. The, compensation is fantastic. However, none of that stuff will ever take over happiness. And if you're miserable, your patients will see that. Your quality of work will see that. Your team members will see that. It's like a snowball effect. We all will lose our, tempers, and we all will make bad decisions. And don't ever make another decision while we've made one bad decision, because it's just snowball effects.
Do good and forget. So I suppose in everything that you do it with a true heart, and then eventually good stuff will happen. Eventually, if you believe in we're both kind of spiritual care. I don't think you have to be spiritual just to believe that. I think, that's what I'll say.